You know the drill, right? Work hard for 40 years, save every penny, and then maybe you get to retire? Well, what if I told you that whole idea is pretty much broken? What if there's a smarter way to think about building wealth, a way that doesn't just rely on grinding it out? Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're unpacking a blueprint that swaps out endless work for something way, way more powerful. And that's leverage.
This quote, it just cuts right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? If you're only trading your time for money, you've put a hard cap on your own income. I mean, think about it. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can't just magically create more time to work, and eventually, you just hit a wall. That's the exact trap we're going to talk about breaking out of.
And really, this is the fundamental shift in thinking we're talking about. It's like a fork in the road. On one side, you've got labor. That's the classic one-to-one deal. 1 hour of your work equals 1 hour of pay. It's linear. But on the other side, that's leverage. This is all about multiplying your effort. You're building systems that work for you. So you're not just adding anymore, you're multiplying.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Well, it all boils down to this 5-part blueprint we're going to walk through. First, we'll bust the myth of hard work. Then, we'll get into how to find your own unique spike. After that, it's all about networking the right way with coffee chats. Next up is solving expensive problems. And finally, we'll put it all together and build the leverage pyramid.
All right, let's jump right into step 1, finding your unique spike. Seriously, think about it. The world is just overflowing with generalists, people who are kind of good at a lot of things. The fastest way to get noticed isn't to join that crowd, it's to become absolutely exceptional at one specific thing. And you know, here's the most empowering part of this whole idea. You don't need to be a world-class expert with a PhD or 10,000 hours under your belt. Not at all. The goal is just to know, say, 20% more than the average person about one specific thing. That's it. That little edge, that spike, is all you need to start creating real value and getting your foot in the door.
This example just makes it so clear, doesn't it? I mean, who are you going to call? A general cleaning service? They're a dime a dozen, probably competing on who's the cheapest. But a luxury driveway pressure washing expert? Whoa, now that's a specialist. You immediately know what they do, you assume they're the best at it, and you expect to pay a premium. That's a spike in action.
So once you've got your spike, the next step is to connect with people who can actually help you use it. And that brings us to part 2, building a high-value inner circle. And look, we're going to do it without being that annoying networker everyone tries to run away from. The secret is something super simple: coffee chats. But this is the big question, isn't it? It's the one that stops so many of us. We know we should network, but it just feels so transactional and awkward. Nobody wants to be that person who's just sliding into DMs asking for a favor.
The key is to just flip the script completely. See, the wrong way is all about taking value, asking for favors, trying to get something. The right way, it's about giving value by showing genuine interest. Just ask someone successful about their journey, how they got where they are. You're not taking anything, you're just being curious. And trust me, people love to share their story.
And that's really where the magic happens. A simple 30-minute Zoom call, it literally turns you from just another random name in an inbox into a real person they remember. That's how you build the kind of genuine connections that lead to mentorship or partnerships, all the opportunities you just can't get any other way. Okay, so you've honed your skill, you're building your network. Now what? Where do you point all this energy? Well, the next piece of the blueprint is crucial. You have to stop solving $10 problems and start solving $10,000 problems.
And the logic behind charging high prices is actually pretty simple. There are basically 3 rules. First, the problem you solve needs to be a big one, a real pain point. Second, you have to sell to people who actually have the money to pay for a solution. And third, if you can solve that problem faster and better than anyone else, well, speed is worth a lot of money. Just look at that number, $2,000. I want you to really think about this. It is so much easier to find one person who will gladly pay you $2,000 to solve a massive headache for them than it is to convince 1,000 people to give you $2 for something small. That's the simple, powerful math behind high-value work.
And this brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial piece of the whole blueprint. How do you scale all this? How do you finally break free from that time for money trap for good? The answer is you build the leverage pyramid. So here it is, the leverage pyramid. It's built on 2 core layers. At the bottom, the foundation is labor. This is pretty straightforward. You hire other smart people to do the work.
you get your time back. But the real game changer is the top layer, code and media. This is where you use things like software, social media, content, things that can reach thousands of people at once automatically. This is the stuff that works for you 24/7, even when you're sleeping.
And let's be really clear about what the end goal is here. It's not just about making more money. It's about freedom. It's about building a system, a business, that makes money whether you show up to work that day or not. When your income is no longer tied directly to the hours you put in, that is what true wealth really is.
So there you have it. That's the whole blueprint. You have the map. But you know what? The biggest thing that stops people, it's not a lack of knowledge. It's waiting. It's waiting for that magical feeling of motivation to strike before they actually do anything.
Here's the truth, and it's kind of backward from how we usually think. We wait to feel motivated so we can take action. But in reality, action creates motivation. It's a cycle. You start with just one tiny bit of work, even just 1 minute. That leads to a small win, a little feeling of success. And that success is what gives you the motivation to keep going. Action always has to come first.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Don't worry about the whole grand plan right now. Forget about building the entire pyramid tomorrow. Just ask yourself this. What is the one single 1-minute thing you can do right now to kickstart that cycle?